So it's been a while since we've done an older Motu Classics video on the channel, so I figure why not? Let's take a look at one of these guys. There's a whole bunch to choose from that I haven't taken a look at yet, and we're going to take a look at one that is a weird favorite of mine. I love the character, I love the episode he comes from, and he is a giant purple rabbit. We are going to take a look at PLUNDOR. So this guy came about in one episode of the Filmation show, The Quest for He-Man, which is also the first appearance of Zodak. He has got a special weapon, special accessory. Obviously I don't have packaging for this guy. He's been out of the box for some time now. So let's take a look at him. Alright, so PLUNDOR, purple bunny guy. So this is, like I said, one of my more favorite figures, and I think it's for a couple of stupid reasons, really, but he just speaks to me. If you've seen any of my other videos, you might come to find that I like goofy figures, I like goofy-looking characters, and this guy is a goofy-looking purple bunny. So, that aside, he is a weird-looking character. The figure itself is nice, but he also comes from a favorite episode of mine in the show, The Quest for He-Man. It's the episode that features him as the villain. He is a solid villain. He kind of defeats He-Man to the point where He-Man has to be saved. It's the first appearance of Zodak, although there aren't many of those. And it's just a fun episode. It's episode 19, I believe, in the classic cartoon series. So, you know, that does it for me. The figure's nice, and he comes with an extra very cool accessory. So we're going to start with accessories first. First of which is just the blaster rifle. And this guy doesn't really have any weapons to his name. He doesn't have like a signature weapon that he uses in the episode. He's kind of the evil mastermind type villain. So they gave him a repainted web store gun. So it went from orange to black here. And then the big thing he has though is the axe. So if you're familiar with the Motu cartoon, you will have remembered this from the pilot episode. This is Skeletor's axe from that episode. It's done up in blue with blue metallic accents on the blades, and it's got the crystal ball at the end. So he uses this in that very first episode, so it's really meant for the Lord of Destruction himself. Although I keep it displayed on PLUNDOR, I have a problem with mixing weapons up too much. It starts to bug me over time because I know where they came from in the package. But that aside, very cool accessory. The gun itself is rather unmemorable, but it works well for his kind of cosmic bunny look. So it's not a bad design. It's just they had to give him something. You can't throw him in here empty-handed, really, and I think they did a good enough job there. So let me remove these, and then we'll do articulation, and we'll talk about the figure. Although, you know, if you've seen one Motu Classics figure, you know exactly what's going on here. Head can spin. It's got a little up and down. It would have more, but the armor piece is going to get in the way. Arms can go out. They go all around. Bicep swivel. Single joint at the elbow and wrist rotation. We have got, pretty tight after all this time, a crunch. All the joints on this guy are really nice. He is a shining example of a Motu Classics figure to me when there aren't any QC issues. We've got a waist twist, which is probably hasn't turned in a while. Yep. And then we've got the standard legs that can go out pretty far. They're going to hit the crotch piece though eventually. And we've got a thigh cut, and we've got a single joint at the elbow. We've got a boot cut or shin swivel, if you will. And then there is a hinge at the ankle. Mine are just tight. It's been a while since I've really played around with this guy, so just take my word for it. He does have a hinge down there, but I haven't really felt much of a need to move him around. It doesn't go too far. It's just going to hit that boot eventually. Beyond that, this guy I think is honestly a great figure. He is pretty standard in terms of what he offers. He's got a furry body. He's got some boots. He's got some gloves. He's got a loincloth or a crotch piece, and then he has this free-floating piece of armor, which is done up with a little metallic accent down the center, and it's a pliable kind of rubber. You could pop it off. It's a free-floating piece. Just pop the head off if you're so inclined, and you'll have a bare-chested bunny if you wanted that. But for me, the head sculpt is where this guy really shines. There is some nice shading in that paint. The teeth are painted nicely. That nose is very prominent, and the eyes are 100% straight. And then of course you've got those big floppy ears that are asymmetrical, which really does it. Really gives him a little bit of character. If they were just standing straight up, I think it would look a lot worse, so they did a really good job there. There is light shading throughout the body on this guy to bring out the musculature and the fur accents. And then of course there is a little bit of paint on the armor piece and on the boots down there below. So he's pretty basic. But for me, this figure is really cool. I have loved this guy ever since I got him. He is, again, a good example of Motu Classics when there aren't any QC issues. He comes with one okay weapon and one really cool weapon, and he just has a cool look, and he's got a cool place in the Motu history, in the Motu franchise. They did a really good job of blending the Filmation look in with the classic style so that he doesn't look too cartoony, but doesn't look too classicized. He skirts that line really well, and I think the Four Horsemen did a great job with this figure, among others, but he's a favorite just because of where he comes from. So that is going to do it for this look at the Motu Classics PLUNDOR figure from Mattel. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and until next time, guys.